Welcome to the Wall Street Weekly Wrap-Up, November 2nd, 2024, with your host, John Newquist. And it's earnings week, and there's a lot of earnings. We have a lot of stocks that reported this week, well over a dozen, so we're not going to waste any time. Let's get into our big tech stocks first, because, you know, we always like the tech, and it's going to be an issue. Google started it off, earnings $2.12 a share, revenues up 15%. I love it when trillion-dollar companies go up double digits. I mean, that's just music to my ears. Advertising, okay, it's good, 10%. Search, still strong, 12%. YouTube, 12%. $8.9 billion of ad revenues. That's monstrous. Monsters. Cloud revenue, the highest of the big cloud vendors, 35% increase. Again, we look at the rate of increase. And then Gemini, I use advanced Gemini, 2 million monthly users. Well, okay, that's good. That's good. 2 million. Now it's new. It's coming up. So, you know, the street liked it. It jumped up and then it came back, consolidated a little bit. But, you know, it's in this wedge, and we'll see where it breaks out. Microsoft, 33%, just right behind Google. Again, $3 trillion company going up 16%. Oh, yeah, they didn't like it. The guidance is a little low. They always guide conservatively, and it went down below the death cross. Okay, there's a 200-day moving average here. It's below that. People don't like that. Statistically and chartically, they don't like this chart. I don't understand. It broke out of a wedge negatively. How far is it going to go down? I'm looking at the revenues. We can put up with it. This can go down to the double bottom of 300. And people are like, you're telling me it can go down another $100? Yes, it could. Remember, we're expecting a correction. So when it gets down there, maybe you ought to buy it because the revenues are solid. The earnings are solid. I don't know what else you want to say. I mean, the growth is solid. Everything is good. They'd be, well, it's pricey. Well, it never is cheap. I don't want to say in the last 15 years, Microsoft is never cheap. NASDAQ was up 21%. Remember, we were up 20-some% higher, you know, 23, 24, whatever it was. The Dow up there. We're going to show the Dow chart here because it's at 42,203. You know, that's not a big deal, but they finally looked at it. I posted yesterday on Threads, they got to kick out Intel and replace it with NVDA, and guess what? The Dow read that, and they did it. Boom. Am I right or what? And they decided to go out and, while they were doing it, you know, they like doing it in pairs. So Dow Chemical, not the Dow Jones, was replaced by Sherwin-Williams. Okay. You know, Sherwin-Williams had a good year too, but, you know, this is a pretty good chart. So the upward chart, of course, you know, buoyed by a lot. Now they got the largest company in the country, you know, NVIDIA, Apple, and Microsoft all in the Dow. Now, nobody really trades off the Dow. They look at the S&P. The S&P is good. But that's good. And the indicators, this keeps on going. Remember, we got a rate cut. You'd act like we got a rate increase. This thing was below 4, and now it's up there. We're going to get a 25% basis cut in November and a 25% basis cut in December. That's the crystal ball looking. It's going to go down. Crude oil, still. They went out there. They didn't destroy the Iranian rigs. They can still pump oil. And, of course, Iran says, well, we're going to retaliate. You know, this tit for tat is just going to go on forever. I don't know. You know, it needs to end. But a lot of stuff is just waiting on the election. And that's what we're all waiting for. Because a lot of the market, you know, don't be surprised the market goes crazy up or down one way or another. What they're looking for is a split between the president and the House and the Senate. They don't want a sweep. Sweep could be bad for the deficit no matter who wins. All right. Gold tipped up at 2,800. It's pretty good. Copper and everything, you know, this is really kind of good considering the economy in other parts of the world are just flat or stagnant like China. I just watched live cattle. You know, this number right here, it got up there again. Beef is at record prices. I was looking at the store. You want an 8-ounce strip steak, $17. I think, damn, that's a lot of money. I remember when it was $17 a pound, and I remember when it was $12 a pound. That's a lot of money, you know. And if you want your steak, you're going to pay for it because the cattle is not cheap right now. Amazon, we always look at it again. AWS, 19%, so 35, 30, Amazon. And of course, they didn't like it. They sold off. You know, they went down and they didn't like it. And I think it's good. 11% for a $1 trillion company, but that's pretty good. International's better than North America because muted, one less holiday between now and Christmas than they had last year. So Meta, I like Meta. Look at this, 18%. This is the highest of all our big, Mag 7 or whatever you want to call it. I call it, I don't count Tesla. I just count the Mag 6, whatever you want to call it. Daily active users. Most people talk about monthly. Every day, 3.2 billion people in the world are on Meta or any of the other stuff. Now, remember when Google's talking about 2 million people use their thing? Now, we got it in there. Meta's like 500 million are using it, Meta AI. It's good. It's good. What's that? 2 billion calls every day. So, what is Meta not doing right? Well, the stock's kind of flat. But I really think it's a good chart, And again, we're looking long term. We can wait through it. ExxonMobil, when they kicked ExxonMobil out of the S&P 500, which I disagree with because it's an industrial stock and it's also the largest in the sector, it just took off. It was like the lowest it was ever at. And they gave a dividend. And, I like Exxon on 4% in the dividend. These companies are doing good. They're making fortune. Now, let's talk about how much money they make. Revenues fell to $90 billion. I remember when this was 10. That's how old I am. $90 billion in revenue. Pumping out the oil faster than you can make. $1.92 per share. They're making 3.2 million barrels a day. They're pumping more than Russia is, or pumping more than Iran is, which is kind of crazy. And like I said, it's a stock we're going to stick with. We want to go in there. It's not a tech stock, but it pays good dividends. It's a solid company. They're making a fortune. Geez, $90 billion of revenue. Oh, yeah, it didn't go to 93. Well, big deal. It went down in oil prices. Intel, out of the S&P 500. No, out of the Dow. Revenues fell. Margins down. Computing down. Data center revenues slightly up 9%. Remember, they didn't get up. Otherwise, everybody else like double the.
This is a reminder. Talk about AI in the phone.
Oh, AI in the phone. Thanks, Alexa, stop.
This is a reminder.
Okay.
Talk about AI.
I just wanted to say it once. I heard it the first time. Everybody's waiting for the Apple thing. Oh, it's going to put AI on the phone. Here it is. This is ChatGPT on my Pixel. ChatGPT. They're going to talk about this might be on the Apple and now it's an AI phone. You got to be kidding me. There's no Grace Hopper chip in my phone or the Apple phone. It is just an accessory to get to the AI data center. The ChatGPT. There's no AI on your phone. It's just illusion. Quit buying that nonsense. All right, let's go on. So Speaker Johnson said he'd repeal the chip act. Oh yeah, there goes $3.some billion. I don't know how you do it if they give them the money. They ain't gonna cough it back up. But it's down here 23. Remember, we bought it at 19, so we're up. Good, 10% up, and it's still coming close. Remember, the 200-day moving average is way up here. I tell you, if they get a CEO change, which I'm not pushing for, it will pop the stock though. These are just horrible numbers. There's really just floating around. It seems like it's just drifting downhill and everything else. So our REITs, UDR, missed by it. I just look at it. Revenues are up. They don't like the REITs. They're beating them up. Interest rates are up. Everybody's fearing the thing. Everything's going up in housing, technically, but I'd see the prices coming down. So, okay, it's profitable. It's, I mean, look at it, 54 cents a share. That's not a bad thing. They're not like negative, earnings. So, we have our REITs. That's our REIT. And the Clorox, this is a good chart. I mean, if you bought at the lows, that's good. We've been in Clorox despite the negative earnings all the time. God, I always thought they never. And then the revenues, then it goes up. Look at this, 27%. High volume of the lapping of the cyber attack, but sales were up 31%. What are we doing, fall cleaning? I mean, is that what we're really doing? Is it that? How much people bought Clorox cleaners and, stuff like that? I mean, it just, a stock that gives you heart attacks. Look at this, go all the way down, jumps all the way up, comes down, but a good earnings. And, again, solid dividend. Gross margins, is pretty solid. So you got really Procter & Gamble and Clorox for your cleaning supplies. And a few little dinky companies, but we're going to stick with it. It's a good company, and it's run well, and they do well. AMGN, again, we're looking for the GLP drugs, beat by 47 cents. That's pretty good. 558 a share. Boy, this is an ugly chart. Look, it's a horizontal movement, a little uptrend, a little downtrend. It broke down, but it stayed above the ceiling here. That's the trouble with your biotechs and your healthcare and your pharmas and everything else. You just got to have a strong stomach and just stay with it. Revenue's up 23%. That's not bad. ConocoPhillips, again, just like all the companies, oil fell a little bit more. They put out 1.9 million barrels a day. I mean, wow. And, of course, it's down here. Oil's down here. When oil's high, it's going to be up here again. So, good dividend, 34%, not $34, but 34%. That's a solid dividend increase. And remember, they're making money too. Making money. And nothing like Exxon. $13 billion they're making a quarter. A lot of money. That's what Exxon was making like 10 years ago. And then SIRI, we're just keeping it. It's our Warren Buffett play. I call it the Warren Buffett. We've had SIRI on and off. And the revenue's below consensus. Normally we wouldn't be in it, but look at the chart. We bought it in the low. We bought it when it kind of got up here, and it's $27, and the 250-day or 200-day moving average is around about 32. The losses, though, that's a lot of losses. Revenues fell. Buffett's seeing something that we can't see. That's the whole thing. What is he seeing that we can't see? I listen to it all the time. I buy it. It costs a fortune. But I'm in the car a lot. I listen to it, put it on. It's SIRI everywhere. So that's I like. And then Merck, another pharmaceutical. 4.4 revenues. Boy, this has been a downtrend. Remember, boy, this is hot. Boy, let's buy pharmaceuticals and boom, 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 all the way down. But oncology, they got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and that's what we're going to go for. Solid earnings. $16 billion of revenue a quarter. That's pretty good. So we're going to stick with Merck. We're heavy in healthcare and biotech and pharma, and that's okay. Pfizer thing. Look, Paxlovid. We had a little COVID in August and everything, and all of a sudden Paxlovid and the revenues jumped. You almost think they're like cheering for Paxlovid to be used because we got so much COVID. But it's expensive. It's $1,000 if you don't have insurance, $25 if you do. So. Again, the pipeline is what I'm more worried about in Pfizer. It's getting better, but they got to buy somebody. Bitcoin. Oh well, it got up to 72,000, but it really has kind of been flat since March. It was up here, then we got close, then we got close, and then we got to get close again. I think it's going to good. A lot of money in the ETFs for Bitcoin, and eventually it becomes kind of thing that you have currency and you just trade off of it, but. We are not buying things with Bitcoin. At least 1% of population is not. Probably 0.1. Apple, again, everybody wants to take guidance. They didn't like what Apple said. Oh well. iPhone revenues, okay, 46. That's a lot of money for a phone, and it's an expensive phone. And earnings were good. Revenues, 6.1. Of our big Mag 7, this is the low. We're not going to look at Tesla, but. Wearables, $9 billion on those watches. That's a lot of money. We're not talking like 900 million. We're talking $9 billion. There's a lot of money, and everybody's kind of waiting for the next thing. And I don't know what it would be. Glasses, maybe?
This is a reminder. Ask about accounting issues irregularities.
Oh, Alexa, stop. We will talk about...
This is a reminder. Ask about accounting issues irregularities.
We'll talk about Supermicro. How about that, Alexa? We'll do that. Eli Lilly missed. That's a rare one. This thing has been on fire, and they miss. And, of course, when you miss on earnings, it dropped it. Now, how far did it drop? It dropped into 800s. It's not so bad. $900 to 800. Well, that's a chunk. Especially if you bought at the $900 level. I like it. Manjaro. I just had dinner with one person, and he said, I've lost 10 pounds already on Manjaro. I just said, well, he said, you're not covered by insurance. He says, no, I just want to lose 25 pounds. So, and he's getting it, and he likes it. And, of course, he cheated today and ate a patty melt, but, but again, look at the doubling. Look at this. Manjaro, GLP, doubled. That's monstrous. That's why Lilly's so high. I mean, that's their money maker, and it's bringing in a lot of money. Caterpillar, because Caterpillar is a big industrial stock, get a good feel of it. Revenue's down because of China. I mean, China is in trouble. They are having a problem. They're going to put $1.4 trillion in stimulus. Will it go to the people? We don't know. Give it to the people, they'll spend it or save it. That's what's the trouble with the Chinese and some of the countries in Asia, that they get it, they're just going to put it away because they don't really need it, and they don't want to be in a bad situation where they don't have money. So that's tough. We'll see how it goes. Starbucks, new CEO. Well, it's got a bad quarter. He didn't really do it. Remember, he took in right over here. So, yeah, he's been there since September, October, and November. But the quarter, this is the quarter that's, he's talking about. So, I don't know. 4 minutes to get a coffee. Finally put a number out. That's not bad. I'd wait 4 minutes for McDonald's. I would Burger King or any of these places that are fast food. I call Starbucks fast food. Oh, no. But that's a good number. It's going to lower the menu, less items. Going to bring back the little thing of all the things. Almond milk's not going to cost you more. It'll cost them more. I just think he's doing a lot of right things, and this is it. Now you got to look at the 200-day moving average. If you're going to buy, you ain't buying it that far above the 200-day moving average. It's here around about 87. You're buying it 10% above it, a little bit, 15%. Not bad, but I'm not into the retailers. We got our Amazon, we got our Walmart, and these are not just making me get excited. Uber, on the other hand, is something that I watch. They didn't like it. Revenues went up 20%, but the guidance and the trips 16%, bookings 17%. Well, double digits. It makes money. $1.20 a share. I remember when Uber was not making money and burning through cash, and I was starting to do the math. When would it run out? This is a stock I like, and it's right there at the buy point now, right at the 200-day moving average. So I think we'll buy some Uber this week. I just got to have some time to get a little bit more data and go through it, but I think that's a good stock to buy. Ford, I just watch it because it's a stock we've owned, and Jim Farley's did a good quarter, 49 cents a share, 5.5 is not negative. GM did better. GM did a better quarter of all of them, but I'll tell you, they didn't like it. They just dropped that stock, and it's down to $10. $14 in August, $10 now. That's a painful trip. Oh, yeah, I got $14 of Ford, and it's going to go to 24. No, it's going to go down to 10. You're like, oh. And of course, somebody who recommended it for their club is getting beat up. Well, I bought it at when you talked about it, how good this company was in August, and I'm down like 30%. And I just got to know what to do with it because this is a lot of money. Yeah, ease into a stock. Don't be jumping in with all your money and buying something that is growing 5% a year. Snap, we watch it. I like Snap, and this is one of those stocks that we're going to get in there. Now we're at the 200-day moving average. If we take our little yellow line, we're right here. I'd like to see it just get a little bit above it because we took a hit, but look at this. Revenue's up 50%. That's good. Double digits. Earnings 8 cents a share. Beat by 22. They were supposed to have negative earnings, and 443 million daily average users. Now they're not getting the AI money. That's where Reels is kicking ass on Snap, and it's going to become an issue. Does TikTok stay or not? One person said they're going to keep TikTok. The other one says we'll get rid of it, let the thing pass by Congress. So an election day could make a difference of this stock going up and down too. Supermicro, as Alexa talked about, Ernst & Young resigned. The data that they got has questions, and of course, here it is. Big peak. Added to the S&P 500. We were at $120 down to 26. You've lost 90-some% of your money. We never recommend it. Remember, I have to go out to all these data centers and watch them get built on all these cabinets with the NVIDIA chips and stuff like this. I honestly never saw Supermicro. Of course, I don't remember who the power supply is. I don't remember who the fan is on these things. But I do remember Vertex is contracted a lot of these places. So we stayed out of it because to me it's just a commodity. It's like JDSU back in the 2000s. You're selling components that don't have a proprietary area. Dell, of course, is a competitor. I mean, if I saw something, you got to remember, Grace Hopper chip, ARM processor.
This is a reminder. Talk about the crash.
Oh, the crash. Alexa, well, okay.
This is a reminder. Talk about the crash.
Now we went down this week, and then went up today. So, again, we're looking at a 5 to 20% correction by January 21st. So, we'll see if it happens. I mean, I think, we went through October, we didn't get it. We didn't get it in September. It's going to be when everybody really doesn't want to have it. It could be the end of the year. It could be the Christmas rally becomes a Christmas bloodbath, Again, we always watch Advanced Micro. At one time, it was right there with NVIDIA, and then they didn't pick up on the AI chip, and it's doing it. They're doing good. I mean, 20, data centers up there, so they're doing all right. It's just that the total revenue, 3.5 billion, is nothing compared to these other ones we've talked about. It's not bad. People broke the chart down, and it's gone down here. It's not a bad company. It's well run. It's just it didn't get the right chip at the right time. And they will get better because remember, if you got tremendous demand, this might be the better company than Intel that put the better chips out. Even though Intel makes a great chip, just doesn't have the capacity to meet demand. Visa is just a monster, and if you bought Visa, you're thinking, well, it's been kind of flat all year. It's not really up 20% like the S&P 500. Yeah, but the dividend goes up. It's 11% revenue. I just love these companies doing double-digit revenue growth. That's a solid model. I can live with up and down as long as the revenues keep on coming because it'll catch up. Reddit caught everybody, including me, off guard. Beat on revenues, beat on earnings, 16 cents a share. I mean, for something that's a chat platform, which I've been around for a long time when they first came out with them, I just comply. They're making money, and they're going to tie into search engines and stuff, and I don't know if that's such a good thing, but 47%, revenues up 67%. A lot of great numbers here. And of course, they deserve that pop with that kind of monstrous. And so, too rich right now. Wouldn't buy it. D.R. Horton. I call it D.I. Horton. Home builders. As the rates go up, guess who goes down? Home builders. Look at this thing drop. It was going great. This was setting a 52-week high, and all of a sudden, you're like, we've gone down from $200 to $150. That's a hell of a drop. That's 25% drop since mid-September. That will make somebody have a heart attack. Holy smokes. The earnings are good. The revenues are down. Well, yeah, because housing is an issue. So not good. Waste management, we just watch because, I'm just always amazed. We go out there, beat on revenues, earnings were good, $5.6 billion. There's not too many companies doing $5 billion a quarter. And you can throw out the text, but I mean, look at the non-text. This is a pretty interesting number. They own a lot of property. I was just at one of the landfills, and I tell you, they're just like mountains, and they make it a park. And it's not a very friendly park because they're off-gassing and burning stuff. But, those who have access to them, it's kind of neat. To see the ducks and everything else around the area, and a lot of natural native trees, which everybody in the community likes, and friendly, area. So it's not bad. Solid 200-day moving average. You had a chance to buy it here. It's not bad. Good dividend. Lots of competition in the sector. Utilities, forget about. I don't know why I had NVT, yellowed, but we just got NextEra, largest one, Constellation, and Southwest, and everything was great for the utilities until it broke the chart and the trend. And this is going to be like this. I call it like, like up, down, and then curve down, and you're going to see that pattern. Look at NextEra, same pattern. Look at Constellation, same pattern. Southwest, same pattern. I was trying to figure out why Southwest revenues dropped. And they said the lower volume work under their master service agreement and timing of the bid work. They get a lot of money from, work on the lines and stuff, but it's a lot of money to not be up there. We'll watch it, this is all the utilities. Everything's right at this 200-day moving average. So, come at the end of the month and we've got 4 or 5 of these below the moving average, we're going to get rid of them. We're not going to go into the year with stocks that are below the moving average and hope they get back, especially if you're losing revenue. And of course, it was the ugly week. For most of you had Amazon and Google do well. Visa, of course, had great earnings, but a lot of red, a lot of red. And I know it's a long show tonight. I appreciate you sticking with me. Good luck. It'll be easier, quicker next week, and change your clocks. Talk to you later. Bye.